When Show, the developers of Airshou, pulled the recording aspect of the application in November 2016, we all wept. And then, at the start of the new year, when Tutu brought the recording aspect back with its old versions of Airshou, we rejoice. But in doing that, we've all been left a little confused about which version of Airshou we should have and where to get it from. So this is kind of a beginner's guide on how to download Airshou and where to get it from. Let's start off with a version of Airshou that you don't want, and that's from savagepool.com. So if I tap Get Airshou and start off the install process, what this is going to do is put on version 07 or above of Airshou, which is the application that the developers show still support, but because they've gone out of the recording business of iOS screen recorders and now just in the broadcasting area, this application is not going to be much use. When you launch it, the telltale sign is that you're going to have to log into the application, and that's something that has been brought back into the Airshou application because this allows you to broadcast on Show's own servers. And once you have logged in, this is the telltale sign that you have the wrong version, because it takes you straight to the broadcast aspects of Airshou with no opportunity to do screen recording. And for further evidence, simply tap on the information button, and if you have version 070 or above, then it's not going to screen record, so there's no point in having it. So, to clarify, the savagepool.com version of Airshou doesn't do broadcasting. You can confirm that because you have to log in, and it's version 070 or above. The best version of Airshou that you want is 061 for screen recording, and the easiest way to get this is to point your Safari browser to the following search: Tutu, which is Tutu, Airshou. The top search result on Google should be this, and when you tap on the link, it will take you to the Tutu website where it shows you the Airshou download option. Don't tap the top green button, tap the bottom download button, and that should kick off an install process much like it did at savagepool.com. If we go back to our home screen, we should now see a second version of Airshou which is installing, and this will go through exactly the same process as the Savage Pool one, whereby it's an untrusted enterprise certificate, like that. Go to your settings. In profile and device management, you should be able to trust the application with whatever certificate it's currently called, and so here are the telltale signs that you've downloaded the right version. First of all, because this has kind of been copied by Tutu, it's going to have adverts on it. Now, whether that's legally correct, I'm not too sure. Probably not. It means that Tutu or somebody else has kind of hacked the application in order to put adverts on it. But anyway, if you want screen recording, this is a version that you're going to have to get. It is still free. And another telltale sign is that when you go to the first page, you can see that you have a broadcast option, but most importantly, the record option. And to confirm the version we are on here, it is 061. And the reason I point you to Tutu to get the Airshou application is because this is the application which is being signed by Tutu. You may find it in plenty of other sources, which we're going to look at very shortly. But when a certificate goes down, which it will do, Tutu is a place where it will first become available again. So if you have access to Tutu, then search for it as I did in the Safari search browser, and you should be able to download it directly, like that link I showed you. Now, unfortunately for some people, this link doesn't work. For whatever reason, it simply says page is not available when trying to download it from Tutu. So here are some alternatives. Once again, go to the Safari web browser and do a search for iEmulators. This is another very popular website for downloading applications from outside of the App Store, but it does involve a few awkward steps. First of all, tap on Apps, scroll down to Airshou, tap on Airshou. That brings up a pop-up, and you need to keep swiping down at the bottom, and eventually you should get a download option when it decides to appear. Once you've pressed the download page, this takes you to another web page where you tap on Airshou with another pop-up. Then the install button appears, tap there. That brings up another small pop-up, tap on the install button there, and eventually that should bring up a pop-up to actually install Airshou. Now watch what happens when I tap this button. On the home screen, you will see that it looks as if it's overwriting the Airshou that I just installed from Tutu. And that's because it is. It's essentially the exact same copy of the application, but a different source. And it's using the same certificate, so I can launch Airshou, but what I've done here is I've simply overwritten the version I got from Tutu. So this is why I recommend Tutu first. It's the guys who are actually fixing Airshou when a certificate goes down, and everybody else is piggybacking onto their application. But obviously if a link doesn't work from Tutu, then you're going to have to get it from another source. Another downloading source you might want to consider is Tweakbox. This is an application that you download, which then gives you an unofficial app store. And I have shown you a video previously on how to download Tweakbox. Once you're in the application, tap on Apps, then Tweakbox Apps, and you should find Airshou here, which says iOS 9, but don't worry about that. It also says version 052, but again, don't worry about that. It is version 061. Tap on the install button, tap install, and again, watch what happens on the home screen. It looks as if it's installing a brand new version of the application, but what's going to happen is that box is going to disappear because again, it's still installing this Tutu version of Airshou. I can tap on it, it will appear as if it's launching a program for the first time, adverts will appear, but once I've gone through the agree box and the information area, it's still version 061. I'll do one more source now just to ram home the idea that you are simply downloading the same version of Airshou. The search this time I'm going to do is emu4ios.net. Again, another website where you can download unofficial apps. Airshou is there, and tap the get button, install, and what you will see is a box where it appears that it's installing a new application. That box will disappear because we are again downloading this version of Airshou, which is still working as it would do. Let me demonstrate what happens if I download this version of Airshou when I delete the existing version. So now we have deleted that version, which I'm going to call the Tutu version. I'll tap get again, install, and what this should do now is install the version of Airshou that we had before. And it's taken a little bit longer, probably because it's realizing it has to actually download the file this time. So there we are, it's finished downloading this time. We'll get the untrusted enterprise developer error, and I don't know if you noticed this from before, but the certificate is exactly the same as it was from Tutu West there. Now obviously that will change, but everybody, Tweakbox, iEmulators, this website as well, are all relying on Tutu to fix the certificate so that they can provide it downloading sources for Airshou. So I hope that kind of clears up how the current setup of Airshou is. If you go to savagepool.com, you're going to get version 070 or above, which isn't going to be any help for recording because now they only broadcast. If you want the older version, 061, then you need to get it from ideally Tutu, because those are the guys that sign in for certificate, and those are the people who will make the certificate available when it goes down. But if you can't download it from them for whatever reason, because you're simply not able to from website issues, then you can choose Tweakbox, iEmulators, and the last option which I showed you, which was, of course, emu4ios.net. If you've got any questions, do pop them in the comments below and I'll try and help you answer them. Otherwise, subscribe to the Video Gadgets Journal for more iOS screen recording content. Enjoy the rest of your tech day. Bye for now.